Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
UFC Vegas 115. We are at Moicano versus Duncan at the Apex. Yes, back at the Makers. Very random main event. Has to be up there for one of the more unexpected main events, but it's the Apex. We usually do tend to get these type of main events. We'll talk the main card like we always do, guys. Provide free picks, leans, price talk, fades, and more. Link.me/system capping for all my links, website, podcast, resume, articles, and more, all in one link tree. It's great. Better than, what's the old one? Linktree? Not as good. This one's much better. Link Me. It's more graphics. You can add more. It's awesome. Currently handicapping the UFC, PGA, and March Madness. Probably have one pending bet for the Final Four, waiting for see if I get a better number on it, see if it will move. Probably not, but we'll see. It's been a profitable March Madness. So happy about that. 5-2, very low volume, but we've been able to find winners, especially the last two bets were 2-0. I did have a couple of people reaching out about the World Cup. Yes, I will be handicapping the World Cup. We do well in the Euro. We did Euro Cup and World Cup in the last 4 years, and they were good tournaments for us, profitable tournaments. So again, I will be handicapping it. I am very familiar with international soccer. I'm a big Netherlands fan, as it is a part of my background. So I have been following them for 20 years now. So very familiar with international soccer. We will be handicapping that this year. UFC Seattle, what a card it was. Maybe not from a betting standpoint. I only had one play, and it was a parlay that missed because I had Grosso and Barber goes the distance. Wow. The odds of that happening is so low, guys. That knockout in the first round from Grosso. What a knockout. That's probably one of the better knockouts you're going to see all year. Definitely the best MMA, women's MMA knockout you'll see in a while. What a knockout. Very hard to predict that. Barber never been finished. He's been on a win streak. What was it? 7-fight win streak. Grosso off a 2. Now, I liked Grosso in the fight. Don't get me wrong. By decision, right? I even gave out on the podcast that there's value there at it was plus 150, I believe it was, and an even better value by decision. So, yeah, Grosso was the play, but by first round finish, impossible to predict, right? So that did screw me. Only the one bet I had. The other was a money line winner. I forget who it was. I stayed away from the main event. I did say there was some value on Pyfer at the price, and I just didn't want it. I just didn't know if Izzy was done or not, and he's pretty much done, right? Now, if it's like a strike, if it's a favorable matchup from if Izzy's fighting a striker, a guy that just wants to strike for 5 rounds, you have to match him up. UFC's not matching him up well. Right? You put Pyfer. Pyfer just laid on him. Stronger, bigger. Laid on him, got a ground and pound finish. You have to give Izzy the right matchups now in his career, right? If he, let's say Pyfer and Izzy just stood for 5 rounds, I would favor Izzy. But that's not the fight, right? It's an MMA fight. So I want to see the matchups better for Izzy at this point of his career. I'm not going to say he's done. He even said he's not done. Just give him older veterans that are willing to strike and bang, and not guys that just want to take him down because that's the path to beat him, right? So I think he'll be back. Pyfer gets his biggest win yet. Let's see what's next for him. People are calling title shot. No. I think he needs 1 or 2 more wins, maybe 2 more wins for him to even be talked about getting a title shot in this busy division. Chiesa retired. Hats off to him. By submission was always the play if you were going to bet it. You couldn't bet him at, I think it was like minus 800 at close. So you're going to have to bet him in an outcome, and the submission was the bet there. Good card, lots of finishes. Seattle got a fun one. Probably the best card of the year so far, and could end up being one of the best cards on paper. Like the video, guys, if you're watching on YouTube. Spotify and Apple, please review, share, it would be much appreciated. If you're not a client, it is the best way to support. Let's get into this card, guys. Let's get into this card. Main event, like I mentioned, very random. Moicano plus 145 versus Duncan minus 175. See what they're doing here. Obviously, Duncan's getting that step up, right? Does he pass the big test? Getting the 5-round fight, first time in his career. Moicano has obviously the much better resume, but he's kind of fallen off here. And, I didn't like what I saw against Dariush, right? Even though plus 145, tempting, because Duncan can be submitted. He has been submitted in the past. Moicano, I would say, probably has the better grappling overall. However, Duncan will have the wrestling advantage. Duncan will be able to take him down, and he should have the power striking advantage on the feet. Right? That Dariush fight, though, tough loss. Right? Dariush, I kind of had him on the back 9 there. Moicano, obviously coming off that loss to Islam. We all expected that to happen. And Moicano was on a nice streak before that. Remember, he put it together, some good wins. And then now it's just kind of going downhill. Duncan won 4 in a row now. Much lower level competition. McKinney, Rebecki, ours is 2 wins. So this is a step up in competition. So I can never be confident that Duncan's going to pass with flying colors. Even though I do have him as a fighter that should win this fight. The younger fighter has more pass to win the fight. Sure, the 5 rounds he hasn't fought before, that is a concern. But I've seen him in 3-round fights. I can remember the Rebecki one. He gets better as the fight goes. I don't think he has any cardio issues, guys. And Moicano's not really known for his cardio. So I'm not too worried about the 5 rounds here. I see success with takedowns. He averages over 3 per fight, 62% takedown defense for Moicano. I think that's where the path will be, and Duncan can mix in some, heavy strikes on the feet. I can't get too excited for pulling the trigger on Moicano. The price is not juicy enough, and I'm worried about the wrestling in this fight. You see Moicano get taken down fairly easily at times, guys. So that's what has me concerned here. We also have Duncan, some power on the feet. Could catch Moicano. But the only path, in my opinion, I can see Moicano winning this fight is by catching Duncan a submission. Very possible. Very good submission game. Like I mentioned, Duncan has been submitted, and Moicano has a bunch of finishes by submission. I would say grappler to grappler. I would give Moicano that. Don't get me wrong, the Duncan can grapple. He does have a lot of submission wins as well. So keep that in mind. And in the UFC, not just an MMA career. So Duncan is the play for podcast purposes. Am I going to run to the window and bet it? No, I haven't bet it as of yet. I want to see weigh-ins and a few other things, but Moicano is live. I just see more pass for Duncan to win this fight. One other thing here, there's a note I have. Both trained at the same gym before, so they're going to know each other very well. One thing to mention. Janaroba minus 125 versus Ricci plus 105 is a tough one to get too invested in, guys. You know what I talk about, women's MMA, especially mid-tier, especially these two, right? The books are telling you they don't really know what to do with it. Similar style fighters, both can grapple. Both ladies like to try to wrestle and have some control on the ground. It's going to be very difficult to predict if Ricci, even though I lean Ricci in this fight due to the price, is she going to be able to control Janaroba on the ground? That's what Ricci likes to do. And Janaroba is very strong and does have some good grappling. So I can't be confident that it's going to happen here. Both striking, very average between the two. I love the over 2.5 rounds fight to go the distance. Hard to see a finish here. We said that about the Barber fight last week. This is even harder, to be honest. They're both kind of grappler wrestlers. No power on the feet. Submission, low odds. So fight over 2.5 rounds goes the distance. If I can get a decent price on that, I'll bet that. The side is, you're flipping a coin, in my opinion, guys. You're flipping a coin, and when you're flipping a coin, you see plus money. I lean Ricci because of that. So it's more of a value side price, not betting it. But if I can get the over 2.5 rounds fight to go to the distance, that will be the play this week. Yak, I have minus 800 1,800. Sorry, I almost gave him a discount there against Rubio plus 950, guys. How do you bet this one? You could almost guarantee, though. I never say that, right? You know that. There's never a guarantee, but this is pretty much a guarantee win. It's just, how can you bet it, right? So you're going to have to take a shot at an outcome. And there's two ways he can win: submission or TKO. They're both very evenly priced. Rubio, 9 losses in the cage, back-to-back losses. And it's just over mid-tier guys. Sai, Marikanov. He has an experience advantage, sure. And that's why also the 1,800 minus 1,800 is crazy. He's only 8-0. Again, I'm not concerned that he's going to lose a fight because of that, but the price is ridiculous. You just can't bet this. So if you want to try to get creative, the KO is the favored, but you're paying up like minus 125, minus 150 around the market. That's just not how I bet. I don't bet minus on outcomes for the most part. Because that submission's live. Now, let me backtrack. If I know there's going to be a KO and the guy has no submission game, and it's like minus 125, minus 150, sure. I'd have to be very confident there would be no decision. I would have to have chin issues with the opponent, and then he has no submission game. The problem is this guy has a submission game. So you're flipping a coin on the outcome there. And even if you try to bet the fight will finish, not just by what specific way, you're paying like minus 400 for it, right? So to me, you just can't bet this fight unless you want to take a shot for a smaller unit by finish. That's the only way I would look at this fight. He has 3 wins by KO and 4 by submission, guys. And he usually doesn't get out of the first round. So if you want to improve the price, take a longer shot, first round finish. That's a way to look at it if you have to bet this fight. Ewing minus 130 versus Estevan plus 110. This is a tough one. Why? Because I can see, either guy winning this fight. The line kind of tells you that. There's no news here. But Estevan has a clear path. Wrestle, chain wrestle, ground control time. That's what he does. And he could definitely win the fight there. Now, are the judges going to like that? Are the refs going to tell him to stand up if he's not doing anything? Because he doesn't really do much when he gets the fight down there. A lot of control time, right? He averages over 6 takedowns per fight, guys. But just very low volume on the feet at 2. So it's more of how's the fight going to play out? Is Ewing going to be able to get up, maybe hurt him on the feet, maybe outland him on the feet? And maybe, he works out of a good camp, wrestling camp, so maybe he's going to be able to have some good takedown defense. You can't really look at it. He had one fight in the UFC, sure, that says 100%, but that fight, there was no takedown attempt. So interesting here, right? Not a fight I'll be betting. Not a fight I would say get involved in. Love the over 2.5 rounds in this fight. If you can get a good price, I would look that way if you had to bet this fight. Last one I'll talk about, guys. It's a fun one. McMillan. I like the kid. Minus 1,300. Not warranted, this price. Very raw. Versus Zenetchian. Plus 800. Now, yes, McMillan's winning this fight, guys. Zetchetin, he has more experience. He's fought some actually decent names, but he hasn't fought for 3 years. Okay? He's 0-1 in the UFC. He fought Cherrier. It's not a bad loss, but the way he lost was terrible. He lost from a KO body kick. Right? So McMillan is a high prospect. Obviously, he's out of Sean O'Malley's camp. I know him well. I watch all of his training videos. I watch some of his amateur fights. He won a Dana White Contender Series against a tough opponent. Very close fight, though. Majority decision. So keep that in mind. He's still raw, right? He can wrestle. He can grapple. He has some power on the feet. The reason why it's tough to call an outcome here, now, obviously, like I said, I try to look for outcomes when you see big prices. If I really like a guy to win, I try to find an outcome. We're in the same ballpark. Submission, KO, very similar. The KO is actually better. The favorite is the submission at minus 160. There's no way I could ever bet that. So I see some value by finish at plus 240 out there, I see. So plus 240 for McMillan to finish the fight TKO KO, value. He's going to try to go in there and knock the guy's head off. And this guy has shown issues with durability. But again, we could see McMillan goes for a lot of guillotine chokes in his fights. That's his favorite move. So, that is live there, but at minus 160, you can never bet that. I see value at the finish. He may want to try to go in there and get a big finish, right? He has some power in his hands. So, small unit on that, and you can't bet it at minus 1,300. So my guess is, my bet would be here, by finish, TKO, KO, plus 240? Even though the submission is favored, and I wouldn't be surprised, right, if the submission happens. But if you're putting a smaller unit on that nice price, it's worth it, guys. Right? I can see it. I say this is 50-50, how this finishes. So McMillan's going to want to try to be flashy, try to get the big bonus, try to, represent Montana, represent Sean O'Malley in the camp. And how do you do that? Sure, a submission's nice, but a big knockout. That's how I'm kind of looking at it. And at plus 240, tons of value at that price. Let's hope he doesn't decide to go to his favorite, the guillotine submission, right? It could happen, of course, right? At 50-50, though, you tell me it's about 50-50 how the fight's going to end. You give me plus 240, sign me up any day. For a smaller unit, of course. You're betting outcomes, guys. Outcomes, you always want to lower the unit size. You don't want to get too confident on how the fight's going to finish. You'll learn all that if you decide to be a client. I lay it out every week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. If you guys celebrate Easter, happy Easter. I'm going out to go visit the family right after this. Family time for Easter. Good food, family time, love it. Hopefully you do the same. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.